Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Ârc Live, I think number 11 now, here to you straight from paradise. Actually, I try and tell the truth always on these, and this is actually the first time it doesn't look like paradise out the windows behind you. It's normally a beautiful blue sky, sun rays everywhere. Today, it is a storm. So we're cozying up here together, kind of like with each other, wearing black tie. I think it's probably my first occasion. Forgive the lack of formal dress for today, but thank you so much for being here. Same as always. If you've not come and joined us here yet, you should. But I want to dive straight into three awesome guests that we've got hanging out with us here at Ârc at NS. First, Ramy, how are you?
Excited to be here. Excited to be here. Thanks for hosting.
You don't even know what's about to happen, right?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
As by normal, I give everyone about 2 minutes notice, and then no one has to worry. There's no anxiety. It's just like as it goes.
Yeah, my first line was, I would have liked to have showered and changed, but you know, here we are.
I'm straight out the gym, it's all good, right? Where have you just been, by the way?
Okay. We're gonna start with the curveballs. I was in Bali. I was in Indonesia.
Okay. Were you working?
Of course, always.
Okay, fine. Because some people do pop out occasionally for sort of like a weekend of fun in Bali. You know?
No. I mean, the honest answer is I've been here for 6 weeks, or I had been here for 6 weeks, and I realized that for 6 weeks I'd basically been shuttling between North Tower and South Tower. So I'd been in an AC'd contained environment, and I just needed some nature.
Yes.
Change of pace.
No, they're very good. And well, why did you come here in the first place?
Largely to lock in and build, which I feel like is the brand. And then also I wanted to learn a lot about Asia. So there's the academic take and the intellectual take of knowing that something is happening. And then there's a whole other set of decisions that you need to make if you want to act on it. So I think for a long time, I had read Network State in 2022, I believe, when it came out. It's quite inspired by that. I'd seen and heard Balaji speak a couple of times, and I said that I should do something about it. Right? I should explore Asia more, both professionally and personally, and kind of put some of my time in that direction. So basically, the idea was to come to NS, see how we can adapt our product to the Asian market and what sort of product market fit we would find here with Seknin and sort of the business that I run. And then also personally just learn a lot more about the culture and life here. So.
Well, I mean, let's start with business then again. So this is actually very related to what you spend your time on, kind of like day to day. Do you want to just back up? Yeah, what are you working on? What's the mission for Ramy at the moment?
Right. So Seknin, business that I've been running for about 5 years now. We're building an operating system for real estate developers, right? So the thing that we discovered from the time that we started, both me and my co-founder were Egyptian, is that real estate is a massive industry there. So people, commit basically 80% of their net worth essentially to real estate assets. And there's very little visibility, very little information available on the market. And then on the flip side, sort of speaking to developers, we were sort of in a lot of these rooms. Both my family and his family were in the development space. So we'd seen how a lot of decisions were being made and how little information and data was accessible to these decision makers. So they were trying to do their best with the information at their disposal, but you can't really avoid making suboptimal decisions if you don't have the right tools and data to work with. So we started sort of working our way around that issue, realized that a lot of tools didn't really speak to each other. So a CRM and an ERP, just sort of the whole procurement process, just the way in which data was organized and brought together wasn't fast enough for the decision makers to make choices. So that's essentially the problem that we started addressing. First by digitizing inventory and enabling sort of all the sales and workflows that follow that.
And again, so if that's been going for 5 years, what's the sort of situation? Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, right now we've done a really good job in Egypt, right? So I'd say we have coverage among some of the largest real estate developers there, and also actually not just some of the largest, but also medium and small scale. So I have sort of wide distribution in that particular market. So the way that we got started is we just knocked on some doors, and we were selling them a totally different product, which was essentially a marketplace. And the marketplace just did not fly, right? Like, it's very difficult to get. I think, solve the chicken or the egg problem, make sure that you have enough demand for the supply that you're bringing on board. And we were pushing really hard to make it work, and then eventually they just looked at us and they're like, would you mind like giving us the software for our inventory? And we ended up basically readapting our product to an internal version, and that took off. So basically where we stand today is we're doing very well in Egypt. We've expanded to a couple of other markets, very much through referrals and of our initial customer base. And the thing that we're figuring out now is just sort of reproducible distribution and a way to access new markets. So that's been sort of the central question of my time here in Asia, and yeah, that's the new adventure.
I think you've been very humble, but it's working quite well, right? Like, I mean, certainly with some of the comments you've made to me, it's going all right.
It's going all right. I mean, I'd say sort of where we stand today is that we very much have hit sort of global Series A numbers, right? So that's sort of where we stand financially. But the thing that we are really looking to figure out is just sort of our own assessment of how to distribute globally, right? So if we're looking to become sort of an Egypt-only play or a Middle East-only play, then we don't need to raise capital. We can just very much go ahead with sort of where we are. But if the ambition is global, which it is, then there's a lot of homework that we need to do, and that's sort of what the process that I'm in now.
And do you think, so as you've come here, right, and like you said in the beginning, you've been following Balaji in the network state from almost sort of, I guess, like inception of kind of like this, right? But then also you've got this interest in Asia, and there's one thing reading about, there's another thing being here and witnessing it. Do you see, is there a link between what's happening here and what you're building? Is this going to be part of your, part of your roadmap?
Yeah. I mean, the interesting thing is, before I came to NS, if I were to draw up sort of the perfect place for me to be, right? So I'm working in tech, in software. I'm in the real estate sector. I'm typically sort of a fly on the wall, right? Because I'm not necessarily building. I'm not a developer, but I work with a lot of developers, right? So I see how they make decisions. I see how they sell, how they decide what to build. So I see the whole process. So I'm sort of real estate adjacent. And then personally, I'm just very much a community builder. I like getting people together. I'm Egyptian. I grew up in Egypt. I have a lot of opinions about sort of just community building, right? So I left Cairo, which is not a very typical move. Moved out to the beach in El Gouna, which we'll talk about later. But pulled out a crowd there who very much felt related to Egyptian culture, but wanted a bit of a different vibe and to set up a different structure. So basically ended up having like 10, 15 people move to Gouna, which was sort of a chapter before network school. But yeah, if you're to sort of draw up everything that I would want in a place, network school kind of checked all the boxes of being around a lot of people in technology, a lot of talented individuals, an interest in development, which I had sort of identified in the way that Balaji would talk about network school and network state. But he wouldn't explicitly call himself a real estate developer in sort of the content I'd seen before. But then once I got here, he was very much, clear that I am a developer and that's what we do.
I think that was one of his realizations in the first year. I think he often said this to us. It's like, network state is about real estate. Whatever it is, right? It's really about real estate, right? And there's a lot of stuff moving around the physical world. It's like not just a digital system that we built here.
Yeah. No, it was very clear. I mean, it's like the appeal of the way that he communicates and the way that he talks. So he would structure things very cleanly. But when I asked him also in one of the introductory sessions, I was like, "Oh, what has been the hardest part about building this?" And he said it's just all the physical stuff, right? Because you can have like the perfect plan for how you want things to operate, but at some point, if you're going to scale from 100 to 200 to 400, the exponentials work nicely online, but in physical space, things start breaking and things stop making sense. And so I'm very curious to see sort of how they solve that. And for me, I'm getting a front row seat to a lot of that. And I think software is going to be a big part of solving these bottlenecks. So.
Yeah. I mean, we just had some more NS team members move down the corridor. You may not have seen them yet. Like this whole floor, again, like basically 2 months ago. I mean, a little bit longer than that now, right? Like this corridor was just one big storage room, like on both sides. Just this room we were in right now, just like floor to ceiling of junk, like just shit hanging out the ceiling behind here, like stuff coming out the floor. The walls were disgusting. And we've come in and we've like sorted out these spaces here. And I think if you come and you see the Ârc spaces that we sort of like have, like it's super nice. But now still on your way to Ârc, you were walking past all these other sort of like rooms that were kind of like still in that kind of like stage beforehand. And we've now just about now cleared out the whole office. We just had like Upsurge, like a venture studio, like move in down the kind of office space. I think they're bringing like 15, 20 people here kind of like full time to keep on working and spinning out kind of like companies. And it's just like, it's like super interesting. We got people moving into the penthouses this week as well. There's just like, there's always little things that are kind of like,
I mean, I was gone for exactly 5 days.
I
was gone for 5 days. I walked down the hallway and it was unrecognizable. And I actually had this thought, it's funny you bring it up because I was walking past they're all the offices are sectioned off by glass, so you can kind of see in. And the first one is like a playpen for children. So there's like a mother playing with her child. And I walked past that, there was a robot cleaning, and I walked past the third one, there's like a whole team working. So it's just like a paneled view of the future. But
no, that's so true, because like literally in the last week as well, we've opened up the fucking kids space for the first time, which is actually really good. Like I enjoy actually like walking past and just seeing all of these kids kind of like playing. So again, I've been sending pictures to some of my friends, like if the fact that there is sort of like not kind of like full-time support for your kids in the day has been a blocker for you coming, no more excuses. You know, you can just like jump on that plane and and join it. But we digress. Elguna, that's sort of interesting. Are you working with Erascom at all, or I mean, you say
so we've worked with them in previous capacities. At the moment, you know, we aren't working on their inventory, but I think it's heaven on earth. In many ways, it's an incredible story as well. I think if you're a city builder and you're someone who's very interested in building a sustainable long-term destination where people live, I think there are few instances globally of a community really taking shape in the way that Elguna has, right? And I think an incredible story of the founder essentially solving his own problem. You know, he literally just, I think the story, at this point, you know, so many years go by, these stories become a bit apocryphal and legendary, but the main parts are true, that he just wanted a place to park his boat for him to go fishing. So he built one home for himself, a small dock for his boat. His friends really liked the idea, so he built 4 more. And then you fast forward 20 years, they have, I think, 50,000 people living there year round, maybe 12 hotels, a bunch of kiting centers. They have a film festival, an annual film festival that pulls in sort of global stars. So it's become a real place. They host international sports tournaments. So it's an incredible success story.
And this is basically just like a little private city.
Yes.
On the Red Sea.
Yep.
A little bit of paradise on earth.
Yeah.
And I guess like you cross at some point you cross basically the border, right? And then at that point they are completely in control of the roads, the sort of like the security, the cleaning, the just everything from the ground up.
Yeah, I mean, anyone who's been to Egypt will know that our traffic is very particular. You know, lanes are optional, traffic signs are recommendations. So it's just a very particular way of running a country. But as soon as you cross into Guna, it's just it's serious. You know, like lanes are legit, but it's also because there's enforcement and because the infrastructure is proper, so things make sense, right? So. So the whole system kind of works, and the enforcement is there, and people love it, right? It's become now very, very luxurious and high end and whatnot, but for the longest time it was super accessible, and just an example of a different way to live, right? Which I think is an incredible example, even for you. I think you should go.
No, I need to. Well, I mean, the relevant point here as well, right, is that the same developer of Elguna is the developer of Luchtissa Bay, which is where it's the private town that Zuzalu basically booked for the first Zuzalu. And it's where Ârc is booked for April and May next year to bring everyone back. And yeah, we're just going to be tenants to begin with, but there's definitely something very, very interesting. There's a lot more, a lot more that could be done, kind of like in Montenegro, kind of like for sure. And yeah, and this is one of the interesting things, right? There's like lots of people like me that are, you know, that are sort of very interested in building these new sort of like societies, these new states, whatever you want to call them, right? I mean, like look at the Network State Conference, all these people. But actually there's just like, there's a much bigger world of people that are just sort of like in the business of creating living spaces, homes, private towns, and have been doing this for like decades or centuries that are just like out there and exist, right? At like a much bigger scale. So what's going on here, right? So I think we've got like a lot to learn, and I think like the more we can bridge those.
I mean, the thing I was gonna say is that at one point I heard you talk about how many people you wanted for Ârc, and I think the number you landed on was like 3,000 people. Was that the?
Well, that was like I think day one minimum. Like,
okay, day one minimum. So 3,000 people. I was thinking like, okay, these guys in Laguna put together 50,000 people, right? But they, I mean, there the pitch is here's the, immediate access to sea, good food, good weather, so on and so forth. So it's less of even a comprehensive vision for how people should live and what they want. But they managed to attract like this population of people who are there, and they have like a Laguna life, and they've branded sort of the identity of what being a member of that community looks like. But really, I think it comes down to like just good infrastructure, giving people just also a way to bypass terrible traffic in Cairo. So they have these small little tuk-tuks. So I think once you solve people's problems and give them a way, like just get friction out of the way, it's just a lot of development work, right? So again, everything you're saying, just all these lessons are there, and people have been doing this for decades, and at incredible scales, right? So. I think you'll be a real estate developer. I don't know if you think about yourself as a real estate developer, but I think the road to Ârc is a lot of development. So I'm excited to see how that plays out as well.
No, for sure. No, 3,000 day one, and I want like Boeing 757s landing every day, just like one-way tickets, and I just like, and I think that I think the opportunity is to do something at scale. That's what I really do. But again, so you've been here now 6 weeks. Again, you had these sort of expectations, and again, you think that this is like, it's sort of like it's matched expectations.
I mean, okay. Let me talk about my experience in like a couple of phases, right? So there was me landing initially extremely jet lagged, very tired, kind of grumpy. It took me a while. It was an 18-hour journey from Egypt. There you lose 6 hours with the time zones, don't know where they go, and so it took me a while to get going. Just my first week was kind of a rough transition. But I'd say after that, once I started finding my feet and meeting some people and figuring out sort of how I'd say NS kind of drops you in the deep end, right? So you get dropped without a lot of instructions. You're sort of here and you're surrounded by people, and then it's choose your own adventure type thing. So so I think the second week was probably like my lowest point, where I just wasn't 100% sure what I was doing. But I think from that point onwards, and here's my plug for Ârc, and totally genuine, is once I think it was Kevin.
Good man.
I sat down with him, and he helped me with some things that I was looking at. I was telling him about my goals with regards to reaching developers in Malaysia and Indonesia, and he just sort of helped me on outbound, and just got my foot in the door with a lot of these developers, just like that. And I was like, okay, this is a very valuable hour to have spent with someone. And then he just showed me around the Ârc workspace. I was like, okay, I'm gonna work here. So initially it was just purely based on like the appeal of having a really nice place to work and working with Kavan. And then once I started coming more regularly and joined Ârc, just met a lot of fantastic people. So day in, day out has been extremely motivating for me to see guys like Derek was, I think, in the seat a couple of weeks ago. He never leaves. He's grinding for like 24 hours.
I came here at like midnight last night to like get some stuff out that I said I was going to get done on Saturday. And I ended up having to have 3 conversations first, because there was all these people working at midnight on Saturday, which on one side is like, really annoying. I just want to get some work done and go to bed. On the other side, it's pretty fucking awesome that actually there are those people that are in the in the arena kind of like with you.
So that environment has been fantastic for me. So as soon as that happened, I was like, okay, I'm surrounded by, again, all the things I was looking for. I'm surrounded by people who are sort of at the frontiers of the tech space. So whenever a new large language model is dropped, within an hour, everyone here has an opinion on sort of what they're good at, what they're not good at. Whereas sort of back home, I'd be kind of the only person really acting on that and
Sure.
building. So just a very different environment.
Yeah. And actually, you know, it's not the core product, right? But I have seen you. I mean, you created the first version of Ârc, of the Ârc City, right? You know, with something you were prototyping as well, right? Like another little tool. Is that becoming more serious part of the product, or like what's going on there?
It's becoming a part of our onboarding flow for sure. Basically, I mean, the context here is that, you know, the thing that our software does very well at sort of an enterprise level is we take sales materials from real estate developers who are ready to sell, and we manage their process until closing and until handover, right? So with analytics and everything to sort of an enterprise grade level. But that kind of thing initially is just not exciting. If you land on Sekneen.com, then sort of the only call to action there is to speak to us so that we can get you set up at like the enterprise level. So I want to do something that's more interesting and fun to click around with. And I had some time here. I was surrounded by people who are vibe coding a lot. So I decided, what if I were to create sort of an Age of Empires / StarCraft type experience for developers, where you just pick a building, drop it on a map, and get to engage with that. And that's been really fun. So I've been sending it around to people to mess around with, and depending on your background. So the architects love it, and also the developers who you know, just the family business types who have some land and are thinking about sort of what to build there. Just drag and drop. That kind of interface is pretty nice. But you know, if we project into the future, like once the stuff is good enough, I think that's probably how a lot of things are gonna at least get prototyped, right? Yeah.
No, very, very cool. Well, then I guess in closing, like who should reach out to you? Where should they reach out to you? How should they find you? Basically, if you want to sell more homes, right, or sell more entire buildings.
If you're building any sort of gated community and you need to reach clients, that's what we do. So we manage the inventory. We digitize it for you. We onboard your sales team. We manage third-party salespeople. Back home, 80% of sales are driven through third-party agents, and most developers are not accessible to third-party agents. So we just give them a very easy way to discover people who can sell on their behalf and make a lot of money in terms of commissions, right? So Sekneen.com is sort of our corporate site, and we're available on sort of all the social media channels you'd expect.
Okay, amazing. Well, look, thank you so much for coming and have a chat. I look forward to working with you when we have inventory to sell as well.
Yeah. I mean, Montenegro's close to home, so we'll do that. We'll make it happen.
Hey, look. There's there's loads of interesting stuff happening in Egypt.
Also true.
I mean, like the final comment, right? Because like I mean, there's already incredible. Again, Al Ghura's on the sort of, I guess, like the east coast on the Red Sea.
Yes.
But you've got what, the Saudis, the Qataris. Is it the Bahrainians as well on the north coast?
It's the UAE and Qatar. Just building on the north coast.
And they're building basically entire private cities on the Mediterranean, basically.
Yeah, I mean, their own international airports, own schools, universities. They're attracting big businesses and offices and whatnot. So
I think that region's going to become a much more sort of like typical tourist destination for.
I mean, I'm selling you a Guna trip, but really, I want you to scout out land and get buildings. So
I hear you. I mean, look, Christ, you know, the final comment on here, right, is that it was sort of at the beginning of COVID, I was lucky to be in Egypt, and I did all the tourist stuff when there were no tourists in Egypt, and it was beautiful and brilliant.
Yeah, lucky as well, because we had no enforcement on any rules.
Yeah, no, completely. It was great, right? But I also spent like 6 weeks just like working at the pyramids of Giza, and just staring at, you know, like, what are you going to build that lasts 5,000 years?
The winning design is this.
Hey, it's fucking great. It's a beautiful country. Yeah. I look forward to coming back again. Thank you so much, Ramy.
Thank you, sir.
Pleasure, dude. Pleasure. Oh, Christ. Well, we're not offering a one-way ticket to Egypt just yet, though you can go and check out Al Ghura with Ramy at any point. Again, it's coming up to the end of the year. This is coming to you live, December something. Christmas time is coming. I'm, going to be spending Christmas here with the community. It's basically become like family, and I want to make sure that we're all around to kind of like to hang out together. New Year's as well, but actually 1st of January is going to be super busy here, and like I welcome you to come and spend a new year with a new year, locked in here at NS, building whatever matters most to you. But let's keep going. Next guest. Hey, mate, how you doing?
Hi, doing awesome.
I see. Okay, good, amazing. It looks like it's all good. Oh, mate, nice shoes. Better than mine. You know,
Yeah.
at least you've got the you know, the what's the word? The sort of like the, oh, I don't know, the niceties, whatever it is, to wear them. But how are you?
I'm doing awesome.
That's great. So we're gonna have a little bit of change of conversation here, aren't we? Right?
Yeah.
Because you've got another really interesting background. But like, again, like, why are you here? How have you ended up in Ârc at Network School? Like, how did you hear about all of this?
So last year I was exploring what are the, like, you know, one of the problem statement that I'm tinkering on is what the future of education is going to look like. Right. So I've been tinkering on this for last 1.5 years, and that's when I came across concept of network school. Like, and Balaji was going to, you know, do his first network state conference in last October, and that's how I came to know about network school. And I have been wanting to join that, but due to my ongoing business, I could not join. But this time I thought, okay, let's do this. So that's how I came to know about network school.
That's really interesting, because again, so you've come at it from a slightly different angle.
Yeah.
Because like a lot of people like Ramy, right? They come from sort of like the network state angle, and then here it's manifested sort of like a network school where educating and teaching people is a big part of what goes on here, right? At multiple levels, and we can dive into that. And I guess what you've done is you care about the future of education, and then you've seen or heard about all of this stuff happening actually at network school, and that's been your entry road. But I guess, why were you then, a year and a half to, why were you thinking about the future of education?
So I was I run currently my own community where I'm educating people on AI. So I was experimenting a lot of things over there, and I wanted to join this, but somehow I was not able to get the time from the operations. But now, since this was around year end, so I have, you know, I just thought, okay, let's do that, because I'm shifting the gears to what I'm working on right now. And then I thought, okay, this is the right time for me to actually see how network school works, and specifically the learn layer in the network school, and maybe, you know, understand how it works, because I see the future of education, specifically the physical education in terms of the universities, is going to be similar to what here we do at network school, like in the learn layer. The future of education, and people are not going to go to universities for learning. All the learning is going to happen virtually online. People are going to go there for the community angle.
Yeah.
And then I wanted to understand that community angle, and that's, you know, before shifting the gears for my next project, I thought, okay, this is the right time to go to network school and see that.
No, I love it. Okay, so lots of people have excuses of being busy, and that's kept them from coming here sooner. But you were actually busy. I mean, like, you've been doing some incredible work with your business. Do you want to talk about a little bit the company that you've been building over the last few years and the work that you've been doing?
Yeah. So from last 2 years, I've been running this company called Growthify, which is an AI upskilling platform, wherein we educate working professionals and business owners on how to use AI. So it's more of like application layer of AI, because AI is updating almost every day. So we help them keep up to date with what is happening. And in last 2 years, like, me and my team have trained more than 100,000 plus people in India to stay updated, and we have a community, very strong community, where they are learning, and, you know, learning in live cohorts that way. Yeah.
That's very interesting, right? So let's just not miss some of those things. So you've trained 100,000 people. That's pretty impressive. Congratulations to start with. And it's important work as well, given like the impact and the change that AI is sort of happening. Do you want to talk a little bit more then about that experience? You've talked about, again, people being in cohorts, but about being digital. Do you want to talk a little bit more about the product experience and like why someone should sign up as well and come on to the next cohort?
Yes, definitely. So right now we are although we have, educated more than 100,000 plus people from the day one, our core hypothesis, and I would say the core intention was to give value in the best way possible. And, one of our KPI, or I would say one of the North Star metric for us, was how people are reviewing us, right? Based on the rating and the review after the experience. And I'm very happy to share that we are right now India's highest rated, AI upskilling platform. We have got a rating of 4.9 star with more than, I would say, thousands and thousands of reviews coming in from both Google as well as Trustpilot. So if you search for Growthify on Trustpilot, you would find 4.9 star with like thousands of reviews that way. So the experience based on that review has been incredible for people. And, I would like to highlight some of the stories, right? In our community, in our basically the cohorts, there are different layers. Like first layer is Learn AI, second layer is Master AI, and third one is Earn with AI, right? And people like coming from, and the interesting data point is 85% of the people that we have within our community are non-technical people. So, and there's a very interesting story actually, about how this actually started. So I was not intending to start this community. I was like, I come from a technical background. I was tinkering with AI, how it's going. And then, I was very deep into that. And then, my wife one night suggested, okay, why don't you teach people about AI? A lot of people want to learn AI. And that's, just like 2-3 months after ChatGPT had come. And then I thought, okay, let's do an experiment. Let's set up a webinar and let's see if people want to join. And I just immediately the next day announced that, okay, I'm going to teach about AI. And, I thought, okay, let's see what people do. And then within a week, I was very surprised that people came in for the webinar and they actually enrolled into my course as well. So I had launched a very basic course at that point of time. And from there, the journey started. Actually, it was unplanned journey, but it happened based on what the problem was people were facing. So I figured out, okay, this is the problem. Non-technical people want to learn AI in a very simple way. And that's how I created this entire community platform in such a way. And the stories have been incredible. Like, I'll tell you a story of one of our member who was like earning, I would say, 30,000 rupees in INR. So that's like $400
Okay, sure.
In a month. And she was like very frustrated with her job, and she came from biology background, like botany, but she was curious on how to learn AI. And then she joined our community, and then she graduated from learn to master to now earn. And she was not at all happy with her life, and her family was not supporting her to even do the job or even business, but she always wanted to start something of her own. And when she joined our third layer, basically Earn with AI, and she actually is now India's leading AI coach. Basically, she has started her own AI consultancy to upskill and empower women professionals specifically.
Okay, wow.
And in last 1.5 years, right from scratch to figuring out what to do, to actually now she has made more than 20 lakh rupees. Like, that's like, I would say, $30,000 US.
Okay, it's like 100 times what she done.
Yeah,
before,
100
right?
times what she had invested, and that's
yeah,
gone.
yeah.
And the stories like these are like, there are so many incredible stories. People getting 30% salary hikes, 80% salary hikes. There is a guy who got 122% salary hike because he upskilled himself in AI.
Mate, I need to take some lessons, right? Just imagine if I was talking about Ârc this way, like you'd all be like on a plane right now, but like, no, it's amazing. And so you also trained your competition, it sounds like. So she's now stealing all of your potential customers, or?
Yeah, in a way I would say, but our target audience is mainly working women, working professional women.
Yeah, cool.
But I'm very happy because, I also keep on sharing this message that it's not that only the mission is big.
Sure.
The mission is, it's not just that, it's not even practically possible for me to come capture the entire market, but the mission is that we want to help working professionals upskill and achieve what they can do in their best way using AI. AI is an accelerator, right? So I always keep on saying, let's create a ripple effect. Right? So you learn from me, take all my learnings and share it with the world. Because at the end, I just don't want me to be teaching. We want to create leaders who are educating people and helping people get better. So that ripple effect is starting to come out, and I'm very happy with the progress. That's
happening. Good job. It's brilliant words. I can't but help notice some similarities there. So when did you come up with your slogan of learn, mastery, earn? When did you come up with that?
Yeah. So it actually started, as I said, the story, it started with basically just learn. And then people said, okay, we want to advance now. We have learned basics of, how do you ChatGPT and these basic tools, but now we want to master them so that, we are actually able to use it in a very, I would say, intensive way to actually use it in my career and business. And that's how the mastery layer started. Okay. And then once people graduated from the mastery layer, they said, okay, that's fine. But you know what? There are so many opportunities to make money also with AI, like, building chatbots, websites, all these new tools are coming up in the market, which enables anyone, like vibe coding platforms, right, as well. So we want to experiment that as well. So I did not initially plan to launch this mastery and the earn layer, but it actually came from the customer feedback. Sure. So that's how it started. Like, people requested that, okay, Rohit, create something for this, and then that's how I created. And and that's.
And where did earn? And then so mastery, and then it was like, okay, great. Well, tell me a little bit more about the earn module.
So earn module is right now it's a 1-year program. So what happens is we have broken that down into 6 missions of 2 months each, and each mission has a structure from ideation to actually making money. So for example, I'll tell you. So if you want to learn how to do vibe coding, right? So we have a 2 months mission. Anyone, even like complete beginner, can start with it. And we take a user from actually coming up with an idea of what kind of a app or web app to build, to actually building it, to marketing it, to launching it, and to making money with. So in a 2 months period, you go from ideation to actually making money with it. So that's how the flow is. And
Amazing.
like this, we do 6 different modules in a year. So essentially what's happening is a person who is joining in next 1 year, they're going to be learning 6 different types of ways in which they can make money. One is, building apps and websites. Second is building chatbots and agents. Third is basically, starting their own consultancy, like one-on-one consultancy. So they already have the industry knowledge. They just need to package it well, and they just need to add an AI layer to that, and then help other professionals. Then they want to launch courses, ebooks, all these sort of things. So how they can make money. The objective is that.
No, it's amazing, right? And then here we have a similar slogan. Learn, burn, earn. Not as specific. The burn is what I've just come from, which is the kind of, I guess, like the exercise classes that we do here. Thank you, Sam and Tim. But again, like learn and earn. Again, I think this is why it's amazing that you're here as well, because there's like such incredible alignment, right? I think what's brilliant about you, right, is that you're not only giving people the skills, you're helping them then actually like monetize and take those skills to market, right? So it's not just like glorified learning, it's like something that really drives them forward, right? And can increase their earnings by 100x, as in the example that you've sort of like given, right? But again, I think that's a big part of what we're trying to do here, right? The reality is if you're moving people, like it's like the number one reason I think people move. Well, I think it's like family reunification, one, and then two is sort of like economic opportunity, right? The reality is that like it's a big deal to move home and to move place. And one of the few things that's going to get you off your seat is the prospect of a better life for yourself, for your family, right? And being able to earn sort of like higher. So I think here again, we focus a lot on not just helping people get skills, but actually, and then being able to monetize them as well. I look forward to you all learning from each other kind of a bit more. But I guess what's interesting for you, right, is that historically, it's all been digital, right? And you've built a pretty successful business. And you've come here now, and I guess like a segue, where you're trying to work out how you can take it not just from a really large 100,000 people that you've already helped, but to maybe a much bigger audience, and you're thinking about the physical world as well. Like, let's just think about this segue that you're in right now and what you're thinking about next.
Yes. So what I'm planning for the next, and I actually started working, me and my team, is basically building this personalized learning platform, where anyone can come in and they will get a personalized AI upskilling platform. So for the near term, it's going to be digital, but where I see it's going to head in next 3 to 5 to 10 years is, the future of universities and the future of physical spaces is not going to be for learning. We will, this is my a firm belief that people will not go to colleges or universities to learn, but most importantly, they'll go for the network of the people coming together and building together. And it's going to be more activity based and community driven. Right. So the future of university that I personally would want to, join, say, if I want to, join a university, maybe for upskilling later on in my life, I would want it for myself that I just go, and just like in network school, we have a lot of, community driven workshops. Like anyone, like somebody's good in AI, somebody's good in marketing, somebody's good into design, right? So they voluntarily come forward and they conduct, this schedule these workshops, and, other people keep on learning. And then there is a lot of connections happening, and people are getting their co-founders, people are building projects, and those are eventually growing. So that's where I see the future is headed, and that's one of the reasons I wanted to see how it works. And definitely network school is going to do its own amazing job, right, in this way, to build the future of not just communities but also for learning. But this is what I'm going to be also building along the way. Like in a short one line, I have to say I want to build a learning state for my community, where they're coming together and they're learning from each other in physical spaces, collaborating and growing ahead together.
I want to dive in more, right? But I mean, you could bring you got this like large community. You could like run like a test, like in a couple of months. You could just go like, what, come here in person to network school, and you've already got all the content, the courses, the learn, and you could like do this like in person 2-month residency for like one of the modules or something. Like you could do that right here.
That's a brilliant idea. I think I wanted to do that, but not so immediately. But maybe I'll try it out.
I think the beauty of this here, right, is that like the physical. We're just talking of Ramy, right? Like physical is tough, right? Like if you've got to worry about like do the lights turn on? Is there food? Where do people go? What are the specifics? Again, the great thing about that school is like everything just sort of works, right? So you can come here, and then actually you can bring your community. And it's the same reason that, again, it's maybe not the education companies, but it's the same reason that communities like Base or Solana or whatever that have come here with big groups of people because they don't have to think about anything.
Right.
So it can be a really easy way to just like prototype stuff, right? Like just bring whatever it is, even if it's 10, that would be like an incredible experiment, you know?
Right.
Do you know what I did? Have you ever heard of General Assembly?
No.
It's like I think it still does some sort of like education, but yeah, I did a thing called like a web development immersive in like 2013, which was like 100-hour learn to code weeks, and my class was like maybe 14 people for 3 months with 4 full-time tutors. Amazing class, amazing tutors. Shout out Matt Cinnamon and Julia, just so many amazing people that were in that kind of there. It was really, really good experience. This is like a long time ago now when I first was sort of starting to code. But it was an in-person experience, actually. And it was like, it was super amazing. And the community and the speed of learning and just like was like absolutely kind of insane. But yeah, why did I go off on that? Yeah, I thought that you should just like, that would be wicked. Like you could just use it like very easily, kind of like here, you know, do it, amazing. But you're not just thinking about doing stuff in the physical world, right? Like we were talking the other day, right? About how there are like these other substantial parts of our life. Like people love music, so they have a $10 a month music subscription. People love exercise, so they have a $10 a month Strava exercise. Right? People love mental health, so they have a $10 a month Calm subscription, whatever it is, right? And there's all these different buckets, right? But when it comes to like learning, lifelong learning, I don't have a $10 a month subscription.
Right.
And you're going to solve that for me?
Yes. So that's the vision I want to work towards. So for entertainment, we have Netflix, right? For music, as you said, Spotify. But when it comes to learn, right? And you know, in the age of AI, we also need to keep on consistently upgrading ourselves. But there's no one, I would say, a platform where I can consistently keep learning, and that platform has my history and that adapts like Spotify, right? The more I use, the better it gets in recommendation, and the more I love that platform, right? I cannot think of moving away from Spotify, right? Because it's perfect for me, right? For music. But what about learn? There is no single, I would say, dominant or one size, one subscription. So my vision is I want to build that one subscription for people where they can continuously keep learning. It's a lifelong learning subscription, $10 flat, and you will get the best of the best education through that. Just like you have the library of entire world's music on Spotify for $10, $20, the world's best content personalized to you based on your life goals and based on how you can go forward in just $10. So that's the long-term vision also.
And how does that just differ, right? It's like right now I've actually, I mean, like, 5.2 has just been released, right, from OpenAI, but I had sort of for the first time over the last month or so cheated, and I've been using Gemini for a while. But like, I'm just constantly quizzing it, right? And it's basically teaching me and sort of like upskilling me as it is, right? So in a way, that's sort of like my $10, $20, $50, $100 a month subscription, which helping me sort of like learn. So I guess like, how would this be different to just like the core underlying model itself?
Right. So all these like ChatGPT, Gemini, they're like general purpose, I would say, assistants. They're moving towards that, right? So they're taking care of, everything, and learning is just one feature of them, right? So even ChatGPT has, launched a feature where, learn together, and, Gemini has also launched. So it's one of the feature. What we are building is an ecosystem of learning. So ChatGPT has, it can teach you in the text format, right? But it doesn't have its own moat or its own content. Okay, the video format. People are not only used to learning in text. So this, how is it going to be different is we are working on a pipeline. We are going to create a content pipeline where we create videos for you. Some of them are human generated, right? Some of them are AI generated, right? So we have our own content library, and as the user learns, it gets to know it better and better. And we're going to also launch a credentialing layer on top of that, where somebody learns, somebody takes up a roadmap or a path, then they finish it and they get a credentials. So we are going to create a passport kind of a thing where it's a learning passport. Whatever you're learning, it's like accessible there, and in future you want to go for a job, then we just with your permission we connect you to the opportunities, and then that's how it's done. So it's not just a feature. The ChatGPT at the max, this is my prediction that ChatGPT will definitely is helping people learn, right? But it's just one of the feature, or I would say one of the modality of ChatGPT do that, but they will never get into a learning ecosystem, right? They will never build a physical presence like Network School for learning, but we want to create an entire end-to-end ecosystem of learning, right? Where you're coming and you're learning, and it keeps track of all of your learning, and then assigns you credentials, and also in the physical spaces you meet, network. So we're going to add a social layer as well on top of the learning.
Yep.
Right? So I don't think ChatGPT and these things will ever get into that, because they are general purpose assistants. That's what I believe.
No. I agree. I agree. I think you can apply it to some sort of specific experience to people. So it's very cool. That's exciting. Do you think that you have sort of like got what you wanted from coming here? Has it helped? Again, you were coming here thinking about the future of education and this sort of like segue, like, has it been useful?
Yeah, definitely. So first of all, shout out to Balaji and the entire core team of NS, and also shout out to you, right, Ârc, for providing this experience and this entire place, right? So definitely, I have got some new insights after coming here. Met some amazing, incredible people. After discussing with them, I also got some new insights. I also could help them in some way. So I would say, as I stay more and more, definitely it's going to get better and better. But up until like, it's been just, I would say, 14 days for me now, right now here. But definitely it's been one of the best 2 weeks of learning and working on, because the environment, I strongly believe environment is more powerful than our will and our things, right? So when I always believe in shifting the environment, and this is a kind of environment which shifts. So the other day I was sitting in the Ârc lounge, and I was thinking on a solution to a particular problem that I want to solve in my business. And I've been thinking about this for quite some time. But you know what, this environment and the interactions which I had with people, which I had with you, all these dots connected, and then like, wow, like I got that insight, right? So this environment is so important in that way, right? It connects the dots, and it brings something. I cannot explain how, but it brings in some new insights. So yeah, definitely it's been super helpful up until
now. Well, I'm glad you're here. Again, I'm still still reflecting on your comment about creating this sort of like ripple effect across society. And I think that, you should be confident that having taken 100,000 people through your Learn and Mastery and Earn, that like you're definitely having a ripple effect. So congratulations on that. So beyond coming here in like, say, March, when you're going to be running, Growthify here at NS, right? If your community is watching this right now, that's what they should do. But if they've not already kind of like worked with you, where should they go? How do they find you? How do they benefit from what you've built?
Yeah, you can check out our official website, Growthify, GROWTHYFAI. And you can just search for the name Rohit Mote, and you will find all the relevant links where you can connect with me and our community and join that, and join us on this mission where we want to empower 1 billion plus people on getting to their best capability. So I believe in Maslow's hierarchy of needs, like, how we can help people get the best, unlock their best potential in this lifetime. And we are on mission, we are on that mission. And, so join us on that mission. Yeah.
Mate, it's only a few more orders of magnitude away. You've done almost the hardest part of that. So is it actually like, what is 100,000 halfway between 1 and 1 billion in orders of magnitude? What is that? There's like 1, there's 10, there's 100, there's 1,000, there's 10,000. No,
it's like
right.
Four orders.
Million, 10 million, 100 million. It's not. It's basically in the middle. You're basically halfway there. You don't realize you're closer than you realize to your goal. So I think you should aim for 10 billion. The ones that aren't even here yet, right? No, good dude, pleasure. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Okay, guys, on to our last guest for today. If you didn't realize, you don't even actually have to come here and be like a Ramy or Rohit and like have your own company and be, busy locking in. You can come here and you can learn. Maybe Ârc is not going to be the place, but like Network School itself is set up to take you forward. But please, hurrah! Look at that. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm good.
Look at you. You're like well dressed as normal.
Thank you. I tried to be as well dressed as you today.
I'm just wearing the nearest thing to like an Ârc stash that I have, right? Just imagine it's a gap in the middle. It's basically a triangle, right? Yeah, it's good. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I enjoy doing these. I get to chat with you guys, like make Sunday even more interesting than it was. So yeah, I'm better than I was when I started this, So let's see how you go. I'll tell you at the end whether I'm happier or not. But so tell me, Kevin, so what brought you to Network School?
I was grinding since the past 9 months. I was in Bali for 6 months. I was looking for a place where I could be without distraction. And I was looking for a tech co-founder, And I realized Bali is amazing for many, many things, but not so much for no distraction, and not so much for a tech co-founder, even in Canggu. So I met like a lot of guys, like every day, like 5 guys came to talk to me because I had a little sign behind my MacBook.
Okay, that wasn't just a network school thing. That was that was something he'd done before.
He was already
there.
Yeah.
Okay, Kevin has on his Mac. He just has a sign saying like looking for co-founder.
Yeah, it works super well. I recommend everyone.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, like I was just sitting in cafe and like every day five guys came talk to me and say, "Hey, what are you building?" and stuff. So,
dude, like product idea. Maybe there's like a variable one, so you can like turn a wheel on the back of your laptop, and it's like looking for love, for a co-founder, for a new parent. I don't know, like and just.
But even a cover, online you can buy Mac cover, right? You can have one like that.
That would rotate though. Anyway, if anyone's not busy, go for it. Have the idea.
It's an amazing idea. So so I talked with many guys, but I couldn't find someone really willing to lock in. Most guys I talk were either busy on something, of course, but if they were available, they were there to have some good time and not really to lock in. So when I heard about this place, I took my ticket right away as soon as I got accepted, and I'm here. I'm here to lock in. I'm here to work with no distraction on a tech startup, and like have an impact. So I'm building on a vertical AI SaaS. I try to automate all the vertical. So like it's not like a chat where you're like cursor. You are chatting along the way, and you need to make a lot of edits, and it's time consuming. I'm trying to do something which does everything for you on an AI SaaS marketing space.
Okay. Let's dived in. Let's talk a little bit more about that then, right? So trying to do everything from an AI marketing perspective.
Yeah.
So I've never been a strong marketer. I feel like shouting out to Natasha at this point.
But you're doing above average nowadays.
Well, we're just like we're building an engine, and we're just like going to keep on telling these stories and telling your story, and it's just going to like build up over time, and we're going to win, right?
You will.
I mean, just like this is. I can do everything else. If we can crack marketing, then like we will.
Maybe I have a client.
Yeah, I mean that's another conversation here, right? Because you're your entry point, But to talk a little bit more about the problem, I guess, and like your approach and how you think like AI can help, and like
So by the way, just before I start my product, there was a report yesterday from A16Z about the trend for next year in terms of AI, and one of the main trends it's about fully vertical AI, like fully automated. That's why I was also mentioning that now. Like many people obviously want to sell, right? And we want to have clients, and we want to be on Google, and we want to be on AI search. So I decided to go on one vertical, very thin. So I focus. It's PR. So PR is public relations. Is when you want to be quoted in the press, traditional press, like online press. How to do that? Because it's great, because when you are in the press and you are on Google, and when you're on the press, you are on AI search, because 1/3 of the source of ChatGPT comes from organic press. There have been some studies. So how to be in the press? So nowadays, we need to pay what is called a PR agency, who takes between 5K and 15, 20K per month to contact journalists and stuff. And so it's very manual, it's very traditional, it's very old, it's very dusty, very expensive, very opaque. Most people are not happy about the PR agency. I don't know if you ever had a PR agency before.
I have definitely played with a couple, I think, but like not in more than 10 years,
How was it?
I mean, I mean, this is basically it's the sort of opacity of it, right? That you just have like no idea what's actually happening. And you just, but there's lots of founders that I've invested in, again, that have kind of like done this or do this and do pay retainers. They get some results, whether it's like good value for money or not, like who remains to be seen, right? It's, what's the classic, the marketing expression? It's like, I know my marketing works, I just don't know which half works. What's the classic one, It's just like, I know like 50% of my marketing spend works. I just don't know which 50%, right? Like, and if you knew,
like attribution,
yeah, and you would win.
Yeah, so as a brand, it's very, very important to be featured by authorities, the one who have authority, like the trusted voice that people listen to, right? So now there is a big trend about influencers.
Yes.
Social media influencers is booming, right?
Yeah.
It's another vertical.
Yeah.
I think people should do that.
Yeah.
And it's also important to be in the press because for Google, press. For AI search, 1/3 of the source, press. So yeah, like when you are a small size company, it's probably too expensive. But when you are a very, very big company enterprise, you probably have it internally.
Yes.
But in between, when you are a medium-sized company, you have no other solution really than to pay those very expensive and opaque and manual PR agencies. So yeah, like I'm feeling that, I'm feeling the need, and so I'm saying, okay, there is no AI pure player doing that more efficiently. So it was 5 months ago, and I said, okay, let's do it. Let's do it. It's a fun challenge to simplify, bring more transparency, bring more efficiency, bring more speed of execution.
Yep.
And maybe even lower price in this vertical. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. So I started day one with 10 clients with just a page on Product Hunt, saying I will do that manually for you with AI, with ChatGPT, but manually. And so 10 people signed in, and I did that thing manually. It helped me to improve my workflows, and now I have a very complex workflow. It's actually super complicated to do something very simple.
Yeah, man, tell me about it. Like this, like, you know, you think you just press play, right? Or like record live, go live. I wish.
It looks so simple to just reach out to journalists. So I reach out to journalists. You give me your brand. I go online. I find your story. I find your pictures. You know, and I find the right journalist talking about your industry, waiting for your story. I send an email. I draft a small email, you know, with a link with your details. And I send to journalists. That's it. And then you get the reports, you know, every week, every month of what's going on and who replied, who opened the mail, who saw your details, you know. And that's it. It's very simple. But to do something that simple, it's actually super, super complex. Yeah. And there is so much value in actually being thin in the vertical, doing one thing, but doing the best, being the best in the world. To do this one thing.
Yes.
How to, like, because every pass of every step of the funnel can be optimized, right?
I wish there just weren't so many one things that you need to work
so
with,
many,
right?
yeah, like
I wish you could
steps.
verticalize more stuff into the same product, right? It's a pain in the ass, to be honest.
It's very complex, and you need a lot of dedication to take this very like 30-step flow and just improve the conversion rate, so you have a great product and you bring great value to people.
So, where did this come? What were you doing? What were you doing before this then? Like before Bali? You said you've been in Bali for 9 months or so, locking in, working out what to build next.
Yeah, I would define myself as a tech entrepreneur. I always been tech entrepreneur. I had an AI startup back then, in the early days of AI, like the age of deep learning.
Sure.
You remember where DeepMind was acquired by Google, 400 million
like 2014 or 2015, something?
2014,
The
first research papers on reinforcement learning and deep learning was around this time. And so yeah, that was the time that I created in France an AI lab inspired by DeepMind, specialized in finance. Not because I was so much a finance guy, but I did a business school and stuff, but because we had a team with a trader and AI researchers, and the trader told us, if you could automate me, I'm just a robot looking at the charts, financial charts, and taking decisions based on the images. If you could do image recognition, you automate me, and you make something that creates wealth. So I was like, okay, let's believe this guy, you know, and let's believe this thesis. And we had great product. It was working, not scalable, but we raised good money at the time because VCs believed indeed in the team and in the vision. So yeah, it was valued like 25 million euros.
And was it not scalable because it was like, okay, well, it worked for, you know, a fund could use it to manage a pot of money, 50, 100 million in the market, but it's not something that like billions of dollars could follow, or like, what was the...
Yeah, it was not scalable because we were looking at the charts, and and we need a lot of data for so it was machine learning at the time, right? For machine learning to actually predict with confidence the direction of the data, right?
Yep.
So we could not invest on daily data point, because on daily data point, even on 10 years, you have only 3,000 data points, right?
Yeah.
3,000 days per year, open days, you know, and time 10. So 3,000 is not enough for machine learning. We need much more.
Yeah.
So we had to invest on the 5-minute type of level, and on the 5 minutes, you cannot put too much money, otherwise you move the curve.
Sure.
So we had to only had few millions under management, which was not which was not enough to scale.
Yeah. I've met like a number of teams over the last even like year that are in this sort of like quandary, whether it's like, I can introduce you to so much if it's interesting for you after this. But you know,
not anymore, but some of my friends are still doing that.
Yeah, okay. Like one, for example, is instead of predicting the next token, they're predicting the next price.
Yeah.
Right, you know, right, it's a simple point, right? And just again, actually, they're just like churning in data, and basically for every historic price, there's a next price, and they're going, okay, well, this is all the historic prices. What's the next price? And then based on that, doing a buy sell. And again, and you know, and there's another one else, which is like again, really just trying to less like predict the next price, but just sort of like predict like the you know, just being the business of, I mean, prediction, right? It's like a really big thing right now. Prediction markets and everyone kind of like thinking about kind of like that kind of like world. But all of them have this challenge of like, okay, well, like, should we just be like deploying a fund ourselves and like managing this at the best opportunities and just like limit it that?
Exactly.
Or is it a piece of technology that they can sell to all these other funds, and like, is it really venture backable? Like, it's like sounds like it's the exact same thing that you did 12 years ago, right? Yeah. No, that's good. That's good. Okay, but that was fun then, being around AI sort of like early.
It was fun. I was early, and then even when ChatGPT arrived like 3 years ago, I was very early because I had the chance to work I was working in no code for a multi-billion company in France. So I was automating stuff, and then ChatGPT arrives with the API, and I was like, wow, okay, I can add this API day one.
Yeah,
it's just released, right? I can add this in my automated workflow, like N8N, you know, make.com and stuff. And right away, I could have a big impact in the multi-billion company I was working on.
Yeah.
It was amazing. Like the team were just so happy to be like, because none of the tools we were using, enterprise tool, obviously had AI inside.
Yeah.
But so we could prototype and have good tools at the time. So yeah, actually since 3 years, since the API of OpenAI, I'm using AI every day. Previously as a freelancer, and now building tech.
But again, you've been doing this for a long time then, right? Like if you were doing like machine learning and you'd raised capital, etc., like 2014-ish, right? That was a different. I mean, like, I'd only been going for a couple of years at that point. Like, were you in Paris at the time? Or
I was in Paris. Yeah.
Were you working at like Station F or anything? Like
it was not yet open.
Oh, is it not quite?
We had great offices, by the way, in the center of Paris. It was great.
Yeah. I mean, because the scene was very small back then, right?
Yeah, Paris scene. I cannot say too much about Paris scene because for me, I'm very attracted by growth. And that's something I like about being actually at NS. That there is this in Ârc, there is this feeling of growth, like things are moving too fast. Previously, we were talking about this corridor, like after 5 days, like the shape of the corridor was totally different, right?
Yes.
So being here feels like having winds on your back, you know, on your wings, you know, like there is this sensation which is very pleasurable. And I didn't have that much in France, in Paris, unfortunately. So I've always eyed to other maybe countries. Even though I'm very grateful about everything I had, it was great. But growth is important, and maybe France is a great place for other topics in terms of growth. But tech right now, I think being here feels better, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm also curious about scenes like San Francisco. I've never been there, but that's also what people say about San Francisco.
I think there is still something special about this here. Like, I mean, I've been pretty lucky. I think I've had similar-ish experiences to this where you've been like, I mean, like people that have had a hacker house experience, I think sort of like get it, right? There's something different in the level of immersion if you are living with a bunch of peers, as opposed to just like going into an office and out, right? Like that's great if you're surrounded by the right people in the office, but if you are fully immersed in and around the people that are just like at it. I like your
Yes.
expression of, again, like, the wind beneath your wings.
Yes. And actually, so for this venture, which actually worked to some point because we were valued 25 million, right? Which is a great success.
Yeah.
I think big part of the success was that we were logged in as a team. Actually, a hacker house, like the 6 co-founders together for the first 1 to 2 years.
Yeah.
It was amazing, and it was so much elevating. There was a sense of growth. I would say, actually, at least in this hacker house, and those brought us to this type of momentum that unlocked the first fundraising and the big vision and the big belief that was transmitted to the VCs.
Yeah. But it is interesting again, because again, this is not like your first rodeo, right? Like you've done a fair amount of sort of like stuff. You've experienced these things in other places, like probably well connected in Paris, whatever it is, right? But then even for you, there is something sort of like, again, sort of special about this place, right? I guess like
yes.
It's
very special.
Yeah, right. Because you're an enthusiast. Yeah,
I'm super enthusiastic. I'm super happy to be here. And actually, I applied today for being a long-termer.
Whoa!
Let's see. I have an interview soon. But yeah, I'm super excited.
Oh, amazing! The interview. That's like interesting. But why is that, right? Because you came wanting to be able to like just find somewhere you could get work done, right?
Yes.
But if is it just that it's ticked that? Have you found more? Like, why do you want to stay here long term? Like, what have you? Yeah, what is it?
I think for a founder who has a limited amount of savings, so a limited runway, it's that number one it's a great place to be because it's pretty cheap, right? $1.5K per month, all included. Wow. Second, just take people all around and builders all around and people like ahead of the curve, like already with traction and Series A and millions of revenue. A lot of millionaires are here. At least one billionaire. I don't know if there are more than one. At least there is one.
We've had more. There's often 2 in the building.
Yeah. So like people who have succeeded in this path of building successful companies is super inspiring to be surrounded. There is this saying that we are the average of the 5 people around us. Mm-hmm. So if you are interested by building a tech company, obviously being here is supportive for that reason, right? And honestly, being in the same room as another guy, and so another builder, another tech, co-founder, in average, in probability, of course. But it's my case. It's so cool. Otherwise, I would be alone in a room, in a studio or in a villa. In Bali, I had a villa. It was amazing. I think that's the main 3 things I would say are good reasons to be here.
No, I'm with you. If I just had 20 grand to my name, I think I would just like book a year at network school, and you're just like, okay, I have a fucking year. And because it's not just like food and accommodation. It's like, if you do not have the skills, you can like learn the skills. If you have enough time, like you can come and sort of like change the trajectory of your life. You might just lose $20,000 as well and get nowhere. Maybe not. I mean, I feel like Rohit would be a better commentary on this, right? Like how many people can really learn these sort of like new skills. This is maybe like a deeper question.
A lot of workshops about learning AI and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got this is like a deeper chat, right? But it's like, I feel that this is maybe a little bit of a segue. But I have family that come from or live in like an old mining town in England, and from actually when that mine has shut, the majority of the town has still never had another job. They've never been able to retrain and move on to the next sort of like economy. Because actually, like, it's tough to adapt at the pace of change, and I feel like this is a place where the pace is fast, and like AI and these things that we're using are moving like very quickly. And I do worry about, I think it's difficult for every human to be able to adapt at the pace that's required. But certainly for probably the segment, if you're listening to this, etc., that like you would be able to come here to learn, to build, to monetize, to learn and earn. Billboard topic.
And I think also Ârc, you're doing amazing. you had this very premium course about fundraising.
Oh, and I've stuck it on the internet as well, so anyone can watch it, you know. But
No, yeah, I want to give you an appraisal on that because it was like my best course on fundraising I ever had.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and I think you give good vibe and good support. Like this floor is a even greater place to be and to build. So yeah.
I mean, we don't do very much, but yeah, you know, you get a taste. You can go to on YouTube somewhere. There's a video how to raise money, and you can get a feel for what was going on.
Yeah, and you are here. You are available. You have your network. You have the skill. You have the experience, and you are here around us and offering support. It's a very premium place to be, honestly, as a founder.
No. I like it. I like it as well. I don't quite get to sit back into it as a customer as much as I like, but yeah, it's very, very cool. Well, so then, yeah, where should people find you? What should they bring you up for? Where can they get your help for vertical SaaS, marketing? Help them get.
I would love to help on that, actually. So if you are a founder and you want to create this fully integrated vertical SaaS, like as A16Z is the next thing. I have. Yeah, my thing, so I can give my return on experience, right, Rex? But otherwise, reach out to me on any social. It will be probably in the comment, right? And otherwise, if you want to be online, visible by journalists, by Google, by AI search, and you are looking for press mentions, you can go to PR agencies. You can look at my SaaS and compare. And talk to me if you want to know my advice or what I think, if your specific niche suits one or the other option. Yeah.
No, amazing. And I guess if there's anyone at NS that's technical and fancies,
I'm still looking for a tech co-founder. So
yeah.
I mean, I had some interviews and stuff, but yeah, so I'm still looking.
That's cool. Look, thank you so much for coming on. Appreciate it very, very much.
Thank you, James.
Thank you very much to listen. I've enjoyed listening as well to all three of kind of the guests. Again, you're welcome. It's a good time to come. 1st of January. It's going to be awesome. If you don't fancy it then or there, you can come join us in Montenegro in April. Otherwise, thank you so much for listening. And I look forward to speaking to you next week. Thank you, everyone.